Yeah, we have an interview with Jesse Brown. We're going to talk about the upcoming fight of two very interesting bouts. And Jesse, which bout do you think would be the most interesting one to see?
I'm really looking forward to Lyoto Machida versus Shogun Rua. I think it's going to be exciting.
What do you think would be so exciting about this event?
Well, these are two very dominant athletes. Both of them have exciting striking power and unique styles, especially Lyoto Machida. I think everybody is really starting to pique interest in him, and because his karate style is something unmatched, and it's going to make for an interesting match.
Well, you know, I saw something very weird, which I'll ask you early on. This Machida guy, he drinks his own urine. That's kind of repulsive, you know. How in the world did he come up doing something dumb like that?
Yeah, he calls it urine therapy. I don't know. It's something about replenishing the body's natural fluids and giving him energy. I don't know. He's got a really type of way out there sort of psychology, but hey, it's working for him, so I guess keep doing it. Just, I wish he wouldn't broadcast it.
Well, anyway, the thing is, besides that weirdo habit he has, or practice, whatever you want to call it, you think that he is the one that's going to win the fight?
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards Machida winning this one because I think his karate style is very adaptable to any type of aggressive style, especially Muay Thai. Any attacks that Shogun is going to do, if Shogun tries to press the pace of the match, Lyoto is just going to be able to counter that. And so I think it favors Machida in that regard.
Yeah, but when I see these fighters, they all seem to know karate and judo and jiu-jitsu and all this stuff. And how come this karate is going to be so special for him? Because they all know at least partial karate or some bit of it.
Well, I think the difference is that Lyoto's form of karate is Shotokan, which is a unique style. Mauricio Shogun Rua, he hasn't trained in karate per se. He's trained in Muay Thai, which is basically kickboxing from Thailand, where they're taught to use elbows and knees in very brutal form of attacking. But karate is a defense art, which allows you to maneuver and sort of use your opponent's aggression against them.
Right, I understand that part, but it seems like, you know, if these fighters, you know, they use all kind of different styles of fighting, how come they don't all use, if he's successful, how come they don't, more of them use his style of fighting?
To answer that, I think I'd say that his style of, particular style of karate is something more rare and unique that it's hard to get that kind of training. Not to say that there aren't guys that know it, but he's really perfected sort of his own technique. Like I'm assuming that it was passed down through his father and his grandfather, but yeah, it's something you don't see very often.
Well, these guys fight, and they get pretty beat up over the years. What's the life expectancy for them to fight in the ring or the performing? How many years should they fight typically on average?
Well, I don't know. That's kind of tough to say. Probably, I think around 35 is probably the time to stop. Once I get to be 35 years old, you know, you can have a good 20-plus year fight career as long as you don't have any major injuries.
And now this sport seems to be becoming pretty popular. Would you say it? I mean, I'm just guessing it is because you see more and more of it. And I was just wondering, you know, what's the purse? What kind of, how much money can a good fighter earn in, say, over a year?
Oh, top guys can earn a lot of money. We're talking like, you know, I think 100,000 maybe a fight, and even Randy Couture now, who gets a percentage of the pay-per-view sales for every fight that he's on. They're really banking big time. Plus all the promotional deals. It's, you know, it's a big cash cow for them, so it really pays off.
Yeah, I know a lot of that money they're going to earn probably go to doctor bills from getting thoroughly beaten in the head or body many times over and over again. But I was just wondering, you know, probably I guess they'd have to could earn $1 million or more for fighting over maybe a year's period.
Definitely, yeah. That's not too uncommon. The UFC pays top dollar, so I'm not real sure on the particulars, but you can definitely earn a lot of money. I don't think it all goes to doctor bills at all. I mean, these guys, they heal up pretty well. It's kind of rare that there's a major injury that happens in the octagon, but, you know.
Oh, we're talking about these guys are fighting for world championships, and I imagine as this sport is growing, there's more and more people taking interest in this, more and more guys that want to get into the fights, especially when it gets to be pretty lucrative, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's becoming very popular. It's growing at a rapid pace. There's all sorts of upcoming guys and competition out there. More and more young people want to get involved and start competing.
Yeah, well, I see that because when these fighters, I didn't know any of them when I saw these four guys that are going to fight in these two bouts, and it's amazing who's going to come out of the woodwork, you know, who we're going to see out there next, you know, and I'm certainly that it's growing at such a rate that we're going to see a lot of good fighters come out. Is that right?
Yeah, I agree. You know, these guys there's so many promotions. They're all over the place. It's really hard to keep track of who's who and what's what. You've got promotions in Japan and promotions in other countries that they don't broadcast on national television, especially here in the United States. You really have to read up on it and follow the sport to know who's going to be the star in 3 years from now. But it's exciting at the same time because there's so many different guys out there with different skill sets, and you get really involved in who's training at what training camp and the coaches, et cetera, et cetera.
And we've got training camps all over the world now. I guess the majority of fighters probably most likely are centered in the United States. Wouldn't that be true?
I'm not sure about that. Not necessarily. I know there are some really big training camps in the United States. I know Greg Jackson's training camp in New Mexico is big time, and that's probably the most popular one. I keep hearing about Rashad Evans trains there, Keith Jardine, and a bunch of guys are in Greg Jackson's camp. I know a couple of camps offhand, of course, American Top Team out of Miami. Some of the more popular ones like that. But offhand, I can only think of one international or out of America training camp, and that's in London. I think Quentin Jackson trained there, and that's like Wolf's Lair.
Where would you say the majority of guys that get involved in these contests, these fights, do they come from the like professional judo or karate or boxing or professional football? Where do they seem mostly to come from?
All over, really. Any type of athletic background, especially say boxing and kickboxing, but football too, and wrestlers are big time. Definitely, wrestlers are looking to transition into MMA, and boxers as well. That's about it. I haven't seen too many other types of athletes that transition over to MMA, but who knows?
Oh, anyway, I'll look forward to going Saturday night. Anyway, that's all I have to ask you. Thanks for interview, Jesse Brown, and we'll do it again sometime in the future, okay?
All right.